Yeah. Ooh, that's right. I'm back again. Oh, and it's out of sight. Hey, I want to start this one off by saying it's the title of this one's gonna be "Keep Your Flexibility." Keep your keep your flexibility. Keep your flexibility to the best of your ability. Keep your flexibility. That's I know you're feeling me. Keep your flexibility. Yeah. Well, basically, just keep your flexibility. I mean, even physically, I didn't mean to rhyme right there, but I guess a force of habit, it just happens sometimes. This is where the magic happens. Nah, but on a real though, like staying flexible, you know what I mean? As you age, I even knew people maybe I should even start it. Are you a stiff person? You know what I mean? Are you stiff? Do you need to work on your flexibility? Maybe I should have started there, really. You know what I mean? But me myself, I've always been sort of limber. You know what I mean? Like I'm abnormally, maybe even not too much. I've known people that are really abnormally limber, but I was always pretty limber. You know what I mean? But I did know people when I was growing up, like even in high school. Um, like they'd be 15 years old, they would shake, their whole body would shake when they're trying to touch their toes, which is like really a lot of signs of stiffness. I don't know if they had like an accident or injuries or stuff like that, but usually stuff like that occurs when someone has an injury or some kind of damage. You know what I'm saying? Some wear and tear already. By Lord forbid, I wouldn't like to think about someone so young going through so much drama. You know what I mean? But even as we age, is really important. Those kind of things. Keep your flexibility and your mobility because it enhances your ability to do things in your life. You know what I mean? So I had to catch myself because my brain was switching to like a pattern format. But yeah, I mean, you're going through your life and you need to be able to still keep up with things. So you need the energy. So you're gonna need to stay limber. That's part of it. Makes you feel old. You know what I mean? Like I've had a lot of injuries, as I've said before, and stuff like that. And then when you're down bad, you just feel old. It's like you can't get around. You can't do too much. And so in that aspect, you definitely want to try to stay fluid as much as possible. I've noticed there's different times in age, it seems like on the timeline where different things will seem to manifest. And around, what was it, like late 20s into the 30s, like your lower abdominal structure wants to try to shift and change, and your hip structure tries to widen a little bit too. And you have to kind of send signals to your from your through your body, basically from the brain to the body, like that, hey, we still do stuff with this area, we can't have this going on. So along with diet and exercise, also just like certain movements that make you contract and expand, stuff like that. Another thing that's kind of everybody knows now, but well, I mean, if you don't know, just also adding to that list, sitting and working, and how much we sit, living a what they call a sedentary life, when we just sit everywhere. Which they've spoken about, like medical people have spoken about how like blood and waste can pool in certain parts of the body from extended periods of sitting and laying and things like that, but mainly sitting, because we do so much sitting. I don't know if you guys notice that, like you wake up, you probably sit to get some things together, then you get up, you walk to your car or wherever, you go sit in the car, and then you go to your job and you walk a little bit, then you sit some more, and then everything you do is like a lot of sitting going on. You come home, you relax, turn on TV or something, or whatever you're doing, sit at the computer or whatever, but you're just sitting again. You know what I mean? So like, of course we're made to be in motion. We're some mobile creatures, you know what I mean? So you want to try to stay active as you can, and keep that flexibility. Keep that flexibility so you can better make corrections when something's out of step. You won't break when you move to catch yourself. But that's kind of the same message in this whole video, because it's about flexibility in all ways and trying new things, right? And that's part of being flexible. So mentally, to be flexible, to not try to be at odds with things so much, but to just let the information flow, take it in, digest it, and not to always have a counterpoint, but just to go along the path. And that works with personalities, as well as information. You know, once a person gains more information and knowledge about themselves and others, then maybe the way that they communicate can change, which is a new thing. You know what I mean? Try some new stuff. I think that we're in a time right now where it's really good to try new things, or at least leading up to this point. I hope it's not too late for a lot of people out there to keep trying new things. In other videos, I would encourage people strongly to try things. I don't know how many people saw it, probably not a lot. It doesn't, not sweating that. But I always like to share some truthful sentiment, you know what I mean? And so I feel like it was a redevelopment time where we're at, and we're going into a new chapter of things. So the better that you adapt, which is being flexible, you know what I mean? So it's about adaptability. So you can kind of catch yourself, sort of like how you see a cat has the makeup to twist itself around and land on his feet and stuff like that, that you have the same similar ability in your life. You know what I mean? So trying new things, switching it up, all these things are good because you get exposure to things, and exposure gives you the ability to grasp something, which your intelligence grows when you grasp something. You have a good understanding, and then you start understanding it, and then you can kind of move forward even more. Try something else next time, learn from experience, so on and so forth, repeating the steps, just moving forward, getting better. And before you know it, you're good, got a new skill or something else. Like, and you know what, for instance, I'll bring up even something that was minor, but this year, well, two things. Well, but one of them was this year for Thanksgiving. I forgot to mention in the other video that I tried something new this year, and I made duck. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's out there likes duck. Some people may not like duck, and it's all good. I didn't expect it to taste like a chicken or a turkey. I expected it to taste like its own experience as a duck. But I made that bird, and the bird was tasty. I hope I don't offend anybody by saying that. I am an omnivore. That means I eat veggies, fruit, and meat, all that stuff. So I have nothing against anybody's concepts of how they should be eaten. It's up to you. You want to make your own choices, go for it. But I like everything. So I made duck though, and I seasoned it. I did follow directions. I did not botch the bird, by the way. I did not botch that bird. It was tasty. And what I did though is I followed some directions, but then I kind of made it my own. And but it's the first time I tried it, and I cooked it for about what 2 hours 20 minutes, oven roasted, right? And then I took the cover off, in the oven for like the last 40 minutes. But I seasoned it. Here's the good part, because I kind of like took some, directions, and then I got the picture that it's really hard to mess up seasoning a bird unless you just, go completely dense. You know what I mean? So it gave me a little confidence. So, but basically, I hit it with some green peppers, some red peppers, some yellow peppers, some red onion, some yellow onion, some freshly chopped garlic, some slices of, I believe it was either navel orange. I think it was mandarin oranges. Like a two, like, okay, they tell you to put a whole orange in basically in four slices, right? Quadrilaterally sliced, right? In four quadrants. So you're supposed to stick them in like that, like slices. So what I did was, when I was at the store, I noticed they had blood oranges, right? I don't know if you guys ever had blood oranges. If you ain't ever had a blood orange, you ain't lived. So go ahead and try yourself a blood orange. It's a little bit different. It was delicious. So I went ahead and I chopped up half of a blood orange and then half of a mandarin orange. And so I used alternate slices inside. You know what I'm saying? And what it's supposed to do is moisten up the bird, keep the moisture in, and a little bit of the flavor will permeate from the inside to the outside a little bit. But I also, on the outside, hit it with some white pepper, a little bit of black pepper, and what else? A tiny tad of poultry seasoning, just a tiny bit, and some thyme, just a little bit. And then I hit it with some brown sugar. Boom. So it would caramelize as it baked, and then it would melt over and help it roast, and brown out. You know what I mean? And brown over, whatever you want to call it, crisp up a little bit on the outside. But yo. And my aunt was there, and she actually likes duck, and she made the comment. She had the first piece, and she said, "Ooh, this is good." And I said, "All right." So I did something right. You know what I'm saying? So that was cool. But hey, man, if you like what I just said, you could try that, man. It was delicious. Just to let you know, it was delicious. There was nothing left on that. You know what I'm saying? It was done. You know what I mean? Like, there was unrecognizable at the end. It was over. But but yeah, so that was a good experience though. If you like that, what I said as far as a recipe, feel free to go ahead and try it. You know what I mean? Because it's all about trying new things. Also, this year, something else I'm going to try that I never tried before is I don't know if you guys like Harry Potter or whatever, but I was watching one of the Harry Potters. I think it's Half Blood Prince is number 6. I think that's the one, right? So I was watching it, and they mentioned with each other, they're like, "Yo," they're talking, and then one of them was like, "Yo." He doesn't say "yo," but he said, "You do you fancy a butterbeer?" You know what I'm saying? I can't even say it right, but do you fancy a butterbeer? They go in there and they get a butter beer. And I was like, I remember I was doing something and, I wasn't paying attention, but I heard it and it caught my ear and I stopped and I was like, did he just say butter and beer together in the same phrase? Like, I ain't never heard that in my life. That don't even sound right, right? So I got real curious as to if it was just Hollywood doing the stuff, or the writer, this is a part of the story or whatever. Is it something they made up or is this a real thing? So I looked it up and sure enough, I found that it's an old school drink for preferably in the winter around the holiday season or whatever, but it's a hot drink. And I know there's people out there from the UK or whatever. You might correct me if I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what's up. But it was called Tudor Era, Tudor Era, right? Era, right? Butterbeer. Yeah, and it's a hot beverage, but it's alcoholic. I'm sure you can make it non-alcoholic too. I got an idea for that. But look it up. Look it up. It's a trip. It sounds interesting. So I'm gonna try that this year too. I'm gonna make one, and one of them calls for like an ale. So I'm gonna do that. And then on the other one, I figured a good substitute for non-alcoholic will be ginger beer. You know what I mean? Maybe ginger beer will still keep a bite and still have some carbonation or whatever. I'm not sure because I've never had the traditional drink. So I don't know what it's exactly supposed to be like. Is it flat? Does it still have carbonation? I don't know. I've seen other things like, once certain companies get a hold of it, like, the Disney people and all that stuff. And then now it's like, they have like Harry Potter land or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's a completely different thing. It's not what I'm talking about. It's like, all commercialized, like, oh, use some club soda or no, not club soda, a cream soda with whipped cream and things like that, which is still fun, but it's not the actual drink. You know what I mean? That's not what it is. So, but I'm gonna try that too this year because why? It's something new, something different I haven't tried. Another thing I wanted to try this year too, if I can get my hands on it or if things go my way, I'm not quite sure because it's kind of expensive, but if I can get my hands on some goose because I've never tried goose and I started to remember like there were old words and stories or pictures or whatever in the history. I just remember mentions of Christmas goose. You had a Thanksgiving turkey and a Christmas goose. I think it's changed to Christmas ham more, but you usually had a goose. I don't know how many people did it here in America. I don't know, but I remembered that. I looked it up. That is true. So I said, you know what? If I can get my hands on it, I'll try it this year. So also be something I never did before, but it's all about the flexibility and trying new things, having a new experience as well along the way. So yeah, man, that's basically what this video was all about, man. What new things do you want to try? Maybe you have new angles if you're doing music. You know what I mean? If you're doing music, you see how a lot of the stuff is coming to a close as far as that trend. Um, I'm not someone who likes to follow trends. I like to do my own things, but I always like to try something new. It doesn't always work, but I like to try it. And if it does work, or maybe it's ahead of its time or whatever, I never know. But I like to try something new. Come to, dressing for seasons or whatever. Maybe you don't have a pair of brown shoes or gray shoes for winter or brown shoes for fall, in other words, or, green shoes for spring or, you know what I mean? Light blue shoes for the late winter until like January. Just trying to say that it's always good to try something new. You might find something you like. You might find something that works for you. You might learn something new. So yeah, man, that's what this was all about. And if this is something new to you right now, definitely hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, stay tuned. I am King A.D.S. Check out all the music, all my music releases. the videos that are up, so on and so forth. I really love to have you. You could also catch up with me on kingadsmusic.com. Also, I'm all over the place, but definitely come along. I always appreciate you. It's always a together thing. It's not a me thing. It's always us together. And I just enjoy having cool people come along for experiences, whether it's life or sharing something or through creativity and music, so on and so forth. And I do love to connect with people making music. One of the people that everyone I've ever done stuff with is people that I've connected with. You know what I mean? So just the only thing that changes is the way that we connect. You know what I mean? So I just keep that old school the same, and I love doing it, man. So I hope you love this, and till next time, take care. Much love. Peace.